Hello creation, I hope you're well. I recently wrote this for a young lady who I'd spoken to at length, and it's called I Remember You Now. I did ask her permission because it may help someone else, this, and she's in agreement. So, I remember you now. You were the one wearing the silver lace. You were the one that every guy chased. It must have been hard to live life as you did, and it's to be understood why splinter parts of your soul ran and hid. I remember you now. I remember you now. You were always surrounded yet always alone, always to be bothered by text of the phone, always expected to answer the call. You were never you, because you belonged to them all. I remember you now. I remember you now, so vibrant and pretty you lit up the room. But love of the self was so lost in the gloom. The words of false promise tempted by youth, enticement drew beauty to the world of untruths. I remember you now. I remember you now. Lost in illusion, the dragon to chase, a love of the self so sadly misplaced. Yet this was the journey, and of that there is no disgrace. That was not you, but experience emplaced. I remember you now. I remember you now. The one who one day said, enough is enough, to take back her power of self-worth, love and trust. There's no time but the now when we say shit or bust. I remember you now. I remember you now. How you took up the sword with your Joan of Arc strength, enduring all tests regardless of length, a defender of those with voices restricted to ensure the abuser at last was evicted. I remember you now. I remember you now, like the dew in the sunlight, you started to glisten, a new birthing of a soul, no need to be christened. One who dared face the demonic illusions of past, a leader worthy to carry the flag with divinity's crest. I remember you now. I remember you now. It has been more than a lifetime since paths we did cross, denied of connection, to hell we were tossed, to gather the soul parts and recover the loss. Did you realise how big the task? To be born of the fire, earth, water and air, elemental desires saw birthing of expressional flair, that gifts love and a guidance, yet lets it be known, have a care, for in self-worth the soul now basks. I remember you now. I remember you now. How you were born of the spark. You lit up creation when all was but dark. Reflections colliding and dancing together, an image of self that gave selfless pleasure. Into the void to explore the unknown, apart and united the soul it did grow, to the day of the shift when both souls return home, with a bond for both to treasure. I remember you now. I remember you now. Do you remember me? When we are people can, as I've mentioned before, expressions of consciousness can come into our experience for but a moment or for longer, depending upon what's needed at that particular time. I was once with someone when we got together and she said to me, I'm with you I'll only be with you as long as it takes for you to heal. And well, so you know, over that particular amount of time I'm expecting, I don't know, it was just an odd thing that was said to me. Yeah, I don't suppose I were in a good place then at that time, to be honest. But anyway, but my point is, you know, people come into our lives, don't they, regardless of amount of time, for a reason. You know, and it might be fleeting and it might not be. I know that and what I do is helping not just the individual consciousness, but the collective consciousness, because we're all that anyway, aren't we? You know. Anyway, so I did ask if it was okay if I read that out. So she said, we're all healing from something, whatever it might be, you know. And these energies that currently are being transmuted can be quite testing too. Any energies that you're transmuting, that you're working your way through, can be. Yeah. I've just you know, my uncle passed away recently, so there's a funeral coming up there, and then I've just found out this sort of last night that my buddy, he said we grew up together, and I used to call up. In fact, I was due to call and see him and his cousin this weekend, you know, before Christmas. And I've just found out that he's passed away, you know. So we have to make the most of life, don't we? Life's precious. We never know. You know, we never know when the journey's gonna be over, when the ride's gonna be over, do we? Really. So we need to make the most of it. And there's one thing, you know, I keep saying it, there's one thing I've found, it's love that matters, not that other bullshit. We've had that other bullshit for thousands of years. And it's time for a change. It's time for you to realise that it's love that matters. You know, whatever you see us and them, whatever you see yourselves as opposite, whatever you buy into the bullshit illusion and believe the fucking lies that they're telling you, you know, because the system's built on divide and conquer. It's not built on unity. If it were built on unity, everybody would have a roof over their head. Everybody would have food in their belly. Nobody would be thirsty for anything in life. No one. You know, all the wealth would be distributed out even. Nobody would go without. There won't be the corrupt banking system that there is. You know, it's bonkers, isn't it? I was getting tattooed one time in Vegas, and because I'd not told the bank that I were going on holiday, they stopped my payment, cancelled my card. When you've got some big hairy bikers who've just tattooed you all up and down, they weren't paying. You know, dropped me in shit a little bit, did that. But fortunately, my brother from another mother had to come along with some cash and sort the situation out. You know, you don't own us, do you, folk? You don't own us. Not when we take us power back. No, you don't. Anyway, wherever you are in the world, if there's no love around you, you'll break that mold, and you'll be that love. Because trust me, believe me, love is the way forward. It's the only way forward. Alright, that's it for today. Take care.